I banned my wife's friend's air fresheners, and apparently I'm the villain. My wife's friend Melissa showed up at our door with 2 suitcases and what I can only describe as a chemical warfare arsenal disguised as home fragrance products. She's staying with us for a few weeks while she sorts out her life, which apparently involves leaving her husband of 25 years to pursue her dream of working at Disneyland in Los Angeles. I know how that sounds, but I swear this is actually happening. We have a large home and genuinely enjoy having house guests, so we were happy to help Melissa during this transitional period. Her marriage has been a disaster for as long as I've known them, with both parties bringing out the absolute worst in each other. The divorce was inevitable, even if the reason behind it sounds like something from a midlife crisis sitbook. But within hours of her arrival, something sinister began infiltrating our carefully curated living space. A smell that can only be described as teenage girl bedroom mixed with synthetic Disney magic and a hefty dose of forever chemicals started creeping through our hallways. At first, I assumed she'd use some room spray that would dissipate quickly, but this scent had staying power that defied all logic. The smell completely conquered our family bathroom, invaded my home office, and somehow managed to travel down 2 full flights of stairs to contaminate our foyer, drawing room, and living room. This wasn't just strong fragrance, it was an olfactory assault that made our home smell like the inside of a Bath and Body Works store during a clearance sale. Everything we'd worked to create in terms of a clean, subtle atmosphere was obliterated. Here's the thing about our household that makes this particularly jarring. We've spent years deliberately removing chemical nasties from our environment. We've curated our home to smell clean and natural, avoiding synthetic fragrances and choosing products that align with our health-conscious lifestyle. Walking into our house used to feel like entering a sanctuary, but now it smelled like Teen Spirit with a chemical chaser. When I mentioned how overpowering the scent was, assuming it came from a spray bottle, Melissa casually revealed the truth that made my blood run cold. These weren't temporary room sprays. They were plug-in air fresheners, plural, that she'd installed throughout our guest areas. She said it like it was the most normal thing in the world, as if showing up to someone's home and fundamentally altering the atmospheric experience was standard houseguest behavior. The conversation spiraled quickly from my gentle suggestion about keeping doors closed during spray use to my firm request that she remove the plugins entirely. My wife later told me that my facial expressions during this exchange were apparently all over the place, showing a mixture of shock and disgust that I wasn't entirely successful at hiding behind my polite tone. My wife immediately jumped to Melissa's defense, calling me an asshole for making her uncomfortable during an already vulnerable time in her life. She acted like I'd committed some grave social sin by asking our guests to stop chemically transforming our living environment. The idea that I could complain privately to my wife but shouldn't address the issue directly struck me as completely backwards. After writing about this situation, I discovered something that explained the rapid house-wide contamination. One of the plugins was positioned about 12 feet from our central air intake vent, meaning every artificial molecule was being circulated throughout our entire home via the HVAC system. 24 hours after removal, traces of that synthetic Disney nightmare still lingered in the air. Melissa apologized and removed the plugins immediately when I explained our position, but the damage to household harmony was already done. My wife still thinks I handled the situation poorly, while I remain baffled that any adult would consider it acceptable to fundamentally alter someone else's home environment without permission.